Hey everyone, and welcome to this part 3 video of the Tornado Shot Omni Deadeye build that I'm doing. It's since changed into an Ice Shot build. The reason for that is the amazing bow that I got. I'll just do a map showcase to show you guys how cool this is. Okay, so let's get going here. Let's put on this little red Sentinel of ours. We have also, since last time, finally got spell suppression cap, which I'm super happy about. I can really feel the difference in survivability. It's a lot better than not having it. Especially with all the lightning mirages going off. Having spell suppression cap just makes you feel so much safer. I added Herald of Ice because I had a little bit more aura efficiency that I could do because of the bow I have. It has so much flat accuracy on it. I didn't have to use... I'll leave this. I didn't have to use such a high amount of a high level precision. So I had a lot more levels to put in, a lot more unreserved mana that I could use. So I went and got a Herald of Ice. Also dropped GMP, the reason for that being that with Herald of Ice and Ice Shot's cone afterwards, after they hit a target, I felt like I had more than enough clear. And then I needed a little bit more single target, so which that also helped me make the decision to swap over. Okay, so let's try this boss here. So this is a 40% more resistance map. So this is actually a very bad showcase. Alright, so let's just go over some stuff on my gear. So this is the bow that made me swap to Ice Shot. I got this with a recombinator. I'll put a clip of how I crafted it. But the main reason for this being so amazing is the tier 1 percentage fizz and then tier 2 flat fizz. It also has tier 1 gold, which is amazing. Then it has tier 1 crit chance and tier 1 accuracy, which are both stats that we want on an Omni build. Then we have the tier 1 dex, which is decent. Ideally, you would have wanted attack speed instead of the dex, but this is a pretty amazing bow. Ooh. Interesting. So it only has one prefix to choose from. I think this is good, right? So what will happen? I'll choose one prefix, hopefully. It chooses this one. Can't deal with this. So hopefully it chooses the tier 1 cool, tier 1 physical, and it replaces that physical with this one. Oops, I really hope so. And then like this one's accuracy and then that one's crit chance of flat dex. And I'm asking for like everything. I almost want to click it and look away because if it fails I'm going to be so sad. I don't want to look. I'm not looking. Oh shit, I'm looking. Oh. What is... What just happened? I'm honestly very happy with how it's going so far. You can use lightning arrow with this as well. You'll just need gloves that converts some of your physical to lightning. Ideally a drop that you unveil the mod on. Otherwise you can only get 25%, and then with the 60% on lightning arrow, that will only get you to 85, so you lose 15% of the physical, which is not terrible, just so you know that that's an option. I'm still using as a shan't. I got that Black Sun crest drop, that percentage helmet. I'll show it to you a bit later. It's in my stash right now. Still using the same chest piece. I just changed it so I got in strength per quality. I don't think if this is necessarily such a big deal, but yeah, just trying to go Omni themed. I got this new quiver pretty recently. Not bad. That I would love for the crit strike chance to be a little bit higher, and then also for life to be higher, but this is pretty decent quiver. And then I still use the same ring. I just changed this to have reduced mana cost. It just makes it a bit easier. And since I had to try and min-max my precision now because I have Herald of Ice, having less mana cost just makes it easier to manage. And in fact, with 60 unreserved mana, cast Hydrosphere and stuff consistently without having mana issues too early on. Because you need to remember, you need to cast Hydrosphere if it's in your Asnatch chance, and that costs 20 mana and also 27 mana for the Sniper's Mark. So whatever your main attack ability cost, just add like 27 to it, and you need at least that much unreserved mana for your Asnaf chance to work. So just keep that in mind, otherwise you will have this and not really reap the benefits from it. My other ring, still the same. This also has an open prefix, so you can also craft non-channeling skills mana costing on this if you struggle with mana cost still. And obviously this affects your Hydrosphere and Sniper's Mark's mana cost, so pretty good. Then for my 6-link currently I use Ice Shot, elemental damage of attacks, Ice Bite, increased crits and crit damage, and then inspiration. As you can see, my gems aren't great at the moment. They're a little bit of all over the show and a little bit of a mess. Then I still use the where's this thing? I still use the Ice Shot with Ballista Totem support, Focus Ballista, and cold damage, and elemental damage of attacks. So this makes it just so if I have these Ballistas, wherever I shoot, they shoot as well. Helps out a lot of single targets. And then my gloves I crafted today as well. The main thing here is that it has tier 1 spell suppression. I also used the Eater of Wold Eldritch Currency to give it spell suppression chance. The flat fire damage attacks, not the best one I could get. I just ran out of Eldritch Currencies, but there are better ones that you can look for. I don't know all the good ones on top of my head, but I know Intimidate is one you can get, and Attack Speed is good as well, and there's a few others. But this is what I had for now. Pretty decent gloves. Then also have tier 1 spell suppression boots that I crafted today as well. I like the movement speed, but you can also get action speed on this, which is probably a bit better because it also gives you attack speed and cast speed and all that good stuff. And then physical, it's extra cool. It's just fit the theme of the bow. And then the other things on this is just cannot be chilled and movement speed. So for my Pantheon, I use Prime King and I got the cannot be frozen. So with the boots and this, then I'm element immune to freeze. So you just have to focus on solving fire, which is ignite, and shock, which is lightning. So I tried to do that with my flasks. I just don't have anything solid for ignite at the moment. I do have some jewels that have reduced ignite duration, all sorts of things that I'm trying to make ignite more manageable. But to be honest, I don't get ignited that much, so I get shocked and frozen way more often. Because I am now finally spell suppression capped, which feels amazing to get. As you can see, I have pretty high physical damage reduction, pretty high evasion chance. I have grace, determination, precision level to whatever your mana works. I'm just leveling Tornado Shot, which is finished leveling, so I need to swap that out. I have Life Tap, Divine Blessing, Hatred. So this gives me the Hatred buff for a few seconds. Like, I think it's 11. Yeah, 11 seconds. Uses some life, so you can just life flask up if you use it just to top yourself up again. Right, so let's have a quick look at my skill tree here. I did unspec some damage to take this spell suppression here. You don't need necessarily all of this. In fact, you don't need it at all if you have, I think, at least a tier 3 spell suppression roll on your chess piece. Then this is not necessary, but in my case, I just had to take it. If I were to get these points back, I think the first thing that I would do is take these 2 nodes here. The next one I would do is do the aspect of links, because I have the intuitive leap in here. If you get accuracy in your quiver, you can unspec these 2 nodes. I would also take this here, using a Black Sun Crest that has 15% to the attribute rolls there. I just don't have any divines left, and I tried to make it a bit better, but I think if I get this to higher rolls, maybe 12 to 13 on average per attribute, I'd swap over to this and then just, oh yeah, so if you self-cast Hydrosphere, I would still link it to Power Charge on Crit and Onslaught, so I get the benefit of that. I'll just have to cast it myself. So just keep that in mind. But the SNS chant is very good. It's very good quality of life, and if you don't need the damage and stuff, just stick with this, and you'll be fine. Alright, on the skill tree, there's not too much else to go over. I still have Ghost Dance, Spect, and Wind Dancer to get as much survivability out of this build as I can, because I do not like dying. So my ascendancies, I have Ricochet, Endless Munition, Gathering Winds, and Focal Point. But I like the +1 chain here, which makes it so I don't have to use GMP in my main skill link. Because that chain with Ice Shot and just the 2 extra projectiles from Endless Munitions makes it so I don't need to use it. And then just again, in case someone has a question about my Frenzy Charge things, I'm using Frenzy Charge when you hit the marked enemy. That's why I take this extra Frenzy here, because I always have Frenzies up even on boss fights. I'll link my path of building in the description. Please feel free to ask if you have any questions. This is an Ice Shot version of the build. If you want to use Tornado Shot, I just don't think this is a very good bow for it. Just go back to my video number 2 that I put up, and then you can check out my skill gem setup and bow that I use for that. I also put a link to that video in the description if you're interested in that, and also part 1 where this build was conceived. Alright, well, thanks so much for watching. I really hope this helped you. If it did, please consider to like and subscribe to the channel, especially so you can follow the series. I appreciate your support very much, and I'll see you in the next one.